Hey guys, and we're back with Worlds Adrift. I'm here with Herb and Luke. Hey guys, and you're just getting destroyed by this monster.
I'm getting, yeah, this is a dangerous place to be doing this.
So the last video we kind of just recapped what this game is about, and this time we're taking a closer look on how to build and make your own ship and how to gather the resources and hopefully survive doing it. So what are we looking at here?
Oh, watching me getting lumped by manta rays.
Well, so so there's a bunch of trees around. We'll show you guys how to gather some resources and then how to put those resources to use.
Sprint.
Is there a way to fight back against these things?
Yes, but I don't have anything on me that can do that right now.
So that's important to know.
That is
make
important.
sure you get some defenses for yourself.
Yeah, if you want to build your ship, yeah, you'll have some threats. So as we've said before, yeah, everything is kind of physical. This is how you kind of harvest wood. We're currently sort of refining our like metal harvesting and stuff like that, and so that involves sort of like breaking apart rocks and finding sort of like sources of metal inside. So yeah, you know, it's pretty standard. It's very sort of like more of a physical sort of aspect. You can sort of rope onto these pieces and stuff like that. But once you actually have that all harvested, you can sort of come along and find like your. Let me move this engine.
What we were talking about last time.
You know, you have crafting in your inventory, which is like your personal items and stuff like that.
And you just made that thing fly into the air?
Yeah, what we talked about last time is everything is physical. So as you can see, we can after you chop the trees down, they become physics objects, and they behave like physics objects, and they have weight and they have properties and all that stuff. And if you have it land on you, or you can probably send this into the creatures as well, and send them careening.
So you can manipulate those things to your advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's a resource in the world called Atlas, which basically is what lets everything float. That's what you'll need to like sort of attach these like cores to your ship to allow them to fly. And we talked about how you can get you know, technology and stuff instead of sort of like getting stats and leveling up. One of those is, you know, like mini versions of those sort of devices, and that sort of allows stuff to become weightless. Like any physics object in the game, you can actually make weightless.
And that kind of is what powers your ships to float across.
Yeah, so here I've like kind of just attached a couple to this engine, and it can be pulled around, and you can see them there sat on it. And yeah, I'm able to we can just pull this around. It might be that we've like salvaged this, or we found this item and we're going to go use it for our own, because we talked about that persistence. So this could be the remains of like a ship crash or something.
And it makes salvaging a lot easier when you can actually, you know, move it around without having to drag
it
up the
yeah,
hill.
exactly. Well, we're already in the helm here, and you can see we're in the shipyard radius, and so resources play a big part. If Herb actually goes to the assembly station here, if you find like an engine, you see it's got a number of components like the casing, the internals, and the physical properties of the metals you use will actually influence the outcome of the engine. So
I see.
Now if Herb is wanting to create like a bit of a bling engine, he can actually select gold and use that as the casing. So when this engine is then constructed, you know, you'll visually see the metals that were used in its construction. This helps, like, you know, if you see players, you can identify like, hey, this ship's like plated in like some heavy metals, you know, it's quite well protected.
So you can become like the Blackbeard, where you have that one iconic ship that everyone knows it's yours.
Exactly, yeah. And in this case, you know, we've added a little bit of bling, and we've made some gold engines. And now, you know, gold is heavy, and that's going to like require us to, you know, use more cores or more powerful cores to actually hold our ship up. And gold is actually pretty useless at protection, so it's probably not something you want to do. But you can do it, you know, you know, if you want to just sort of show off and have a ship entirely paved in gold, you can do that. There's also procedural parts. You know, these two engines are vastly different. That's because as you go around finding these schematics, all the art is kind of, they're assembled procedurally. So you know, you're pretty much, chances are you're going to have a completely unique engine, and then not only that, but then the materials you construct it out of will actually determine, you know, like just the colours on it and its sort of like stat makeup.
And you can put all these parts wherever you
So these parts can go wherever you want. It's not as severe as, like, say, Kerbal Space Program, where, you know, if you can literally make a ship that like will just instantly crash. But there are stuff like if you put all your engines on one side, or there's an imbalance there, then the ship will start to turn and be influenced entirely by physics. But this whole shipbuilding process is entirely physical, so I can just pick up parts and drop them, and they'll sort of, you'll see it sort of bounce around and knock things over. Like this post, you can sort of just set up, and then, you know,
the crow's nest.
Yeah. So if Herb sort of picks up these things, you can just sort of throw them around, and they're all physical and they're all networked. So you can like drop an engine on someone's head
Oh, wow.
if you really wanted to.
I can't get over the grappling hook. I think every game should have one of those.
Yeah, they're
You think so
definitely
too?
big part of that. And it helps with that kind of freedom of movement and allowing you to sort of get around.
Yeah,
I mean,
go
we
to
have
battery station.
cannons. We can start taking our revenge on those mantas from earlier.
They thought they were safe.
Have you got? I think we've got cannons in there.
There's no cannonballs in there.
Oh, we
Of
had
course,
some.
every cannon needs some cannonballs.
Exactly. And again, the physical properties of what you make the cannonballs out of is actually going to affect like their damage. So making sort of cannonballs out of lead means your cannon probably can't fire them as far, but it does mean they'll pack a heavier punch. So if you get on that Herb, then take some revenge on them.
Ooh,
Oh, you
just
missed. But you see, they'll sort of
nice.
like knock them around. There's still like that one actually died, so you see all this like sort of bioluminescent went off. But we don't have all their like sort of death states and stuff in there yet. And again, yeah, that stuff is all sort of physical and will bounce around the train and stuff like that.
How much more difficult do you think it would be to do this by yourself than with like a friend or two helping you build ships and explore the world?
I mean, if
Well-
there's a lot of you, then that lends itself to just being able to build kind of bigger things and sort of more complex ships. If you were like sort of lone wolfing it, which we definitely intend you to be able to do, you probably want to just keep your ship builds quite small.
Yeah, that makes sense. You get in and out really quickly, fast, unnoticed. With the bigger behemoths floating around, you're going to get a lot of attention with those, I guess.
And then when all the ship is done, you can just simply jump on the helm and take off. Now, the noise will actually annoy the manta rays, and they'll start to kind of swarm and try and tear the ship up. So we can try and sort of get away from
Make
them.
some
And
cannonballs.
yeah.
Defend the ship.
And the ship is all like flying
Uh-oh.
with physics and stuff like that, and
You got a stowaway.
can get affected if a ship was to ram you and all that kind of stuff. And Hers to be careful not to shoot our own ship there.
Oh yeah, that's probably.
It's just out of my range.
I guess it also makes sense where you put your cannons. Like, you can have blind spots. Oh, that is so cool. I think that sold me right there. That you can do that. And have a crazy Jack Sparrow moment.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
with the sort of you've died.
It's fine.
With the physics nature of the game, like your rope does actually wrap around things. So we've seen people be able to board ships by just catapulting themselves, using sort of momentum. So you see
Yeah.
our ships taking a liking to some of these creatures here. I think
Just
Herb's
put an
going to just end it,
explosive on the.
On
And,
your ship?
and then just blow off
Oh
a load
no,
of
your
pieces. And,
wonderful gold propellers.
and all that
Oh
gold,
god, he got me anyway.
all that gold. And then if you're like, I don't want anyone to have this ship, you can just.
And I notice now it's kind of limping on its side.
They knocked me out after I put a bomb down. I'm going to take them down with me though. So that'll just detonate there, and
I think we got him.
we definitely killed a few of them. You can see them falling down with the majority of our ship. So
Mission accomplished.
yeah, take that, manta rays. So as you can see, yeah, you're free to do whatever you want, including taking extreme measures to save your ship.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the end, whatever works as long as the day is saved.
Yeah, and you can see, the physical nature of it all. Like, yeah, we just they all rain down, and if there was an island below us, those parts would actually land there and actually stay on that for us to recover, or for someone else to come along and actually take our parts for themselves. So our golden bling engines could be, we could find them on someone else's ship in the near future if
And so
they've taken it for themselves. Yeah.
Would you need to tow it back to shore so you can safely repair it, or can you just go on the fly?
Yeah, I mean, you can
You'll be able
attach
to repair it
those.
to some extent,
Yeah.
but a lot of the parts to properly reattach to your ship, you'll need to limp back to an island
Yeah, and
and
you
dock
might need the
it.
technology to do that, like a harpoon or giving the stuff the ability to float and stuff.
I see.
But I think this ship's a lost cause. We can't actually go anywhere with it. We've blown off all the engines, so.
But that was pretty amazing, actually.
This is one of those things we'd love to have players fly around and find a derelict ship that's been abandoned, clearly by some other party,
Yeah, you were saying before we started recording that you were noticing little bits of debris from your previous adventures, and just the idea to go, oh, that's where this happened, or that's where I blew this up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
we want players to
several
have
ways
those
we
stories. Yeah.
And that's just us in the world. I mean, we expect when there's hundreds of players as well that, you know, every island is going to have just these little stories that have kind of cropped up.
All right, so that's a pretty cool primer on building ships and then
And-
taking the fight to creatures around.
Exactly.
We're probably going to have another video after this, so stay tuned right here to IGN.